What's up, my peeps? Yo, check and dig. I'm really not sure how to approach this. Um, I don't do my own live streams very often. Just kind of getting into the genre of doing this, and I was just at a standpoint where I felt like I wanted to get some things off my chest. You know, like I wanted to take an opportunity to go live just because it's so much that's going on right now. So much that's going on. It's so much to talk about. You did. And I really wanted to talk about this situation with so many things that's going on. You have the Johnny Depp trial that's going on. You have uh, the shooting that took place uh, that was concentrated on people that look like me, you know. Um, and now we have progressed to today, yesterday, the day before, however you want to describe it, to where we have the deletion of some children. And, that really hit home for me. I have older children. I have older children that are they're not children. You can't classify them as that because they're over 20. And then I have a 10 and 8-year old daughters. And so it really has an impact on me individually to where I just feel for these parents that are going. Um, I can't even really imagine what it is that they're going through. You know, um, what I do know for a fact is that my heart hurts. You know, uh, if we have a certain level of compassion about other people, not just in this country but around the world, then we are impacted by the fact that we are seeing that with this unfortunate circumstance, it's like children were involved. And I think that it's a certain relatability because if you have had an opportunity to either right now have children that's that age, or you have had children, and even though they are grown, you still can relate to, it's like, yo, like, this is a lot to deal with, and with the young man that perpetrated this, it's like, what was his mindset? Like, and whatever his mindset was, why would he isolate his attack, if you will, on children? It's a lot to comprehend on this right here. You know, it's like, It's a lot to unpack. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, and I just don't understand. You know, I'll tell you a story. I remember it's been a while. It's been years and years ago. Um, the woman I was with, she was a manager at Target, and I used to go and pick her up from work. And I remember being in Target this particular day to pick her up, and I was just trying to pass the time. And I remember her mom, she had her, I would say 5, 6 year old boy in the cart, you know, sitting in the, what I'm talking about, the seat that, where kids sit, So I remember this being a young child. And she was in the electronics department, and she was buying because they had the video games in this like display cabinet, and in order for you to get the game, you had to request that the person would come and get the game for you. And so I remember her watching her requests to get a game, and the game was GTA, Grand Theft, okay, Auto. And as far as I remember, it was when the game first came out, and it was a lot of publicity about the game. And so I knew the nature of the game. And at that particular time, I grew up in a video game environment, so I used to still play video games even at that age. I think I was in my 30s or whatever. And but I remember thinking like, yo, this kid's like 5, 6 years old, and she's buying this game of violence. And even back then, it had like the parental guidance on it. And, I remember thinking to myself, like, yo, if we're going to be putting, like these games into these young kids' hands, whoa, like, what does our future hold? Like, how does that, affect the psychology of a young child? And I remember thinking about it, going through it in my head, and I was like, yo, a kid would not be able to really relate and or understand, like there's is video games, and then there's reality. And how would you be able to differentiate between the two? I, this was years ago. Okay. And so here we are years later. I saw one of the I saw one of the Republicans. He tried to put it on. He said, it was rap music. He said that first, and then he said video games. And my pushback on that was like, yo, when it comes to rap music, you ain't never heard rap music uh, 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 perpetuate violence to an extent where either A, it involves mass shootings, or B, children. Now, I could go with you on the video games part because, like I said, back in the day, I saw it as far as being a problem, you know. Um, and so now here we are. We at this point in time, where the question is, the unfortunate question, I don't know how to decide the inner conflict within myself to where do I feel like what's worse, seeing my people shot down or seeing young children shot down? And this is within the last week of each other. So it's kind of like, yo, um, this is difficult. It's difficult to put the focus on, well, what is worse, or do we even look at it from that standpoint of trying to compare, make it comparable? No, it's like any which way it goes, this is bad. So then we get into this argument of we get into this argument of okay, what's worse? Or a gun, whether or not we should be able to have a gun. Okay. And this stuff confuses me because I'm like this, yo, it's one thing to have protection, and it's another thing to have a gun that's meant for mass destruction. Like if you have a gun that has a 35 magazine cartridge, that particular weapon is designed and is meant for mass destruction. Any which way you look at it, that's what it is. And okay, so if we're going to have the argument on, okay, we should have our rights as far as protection and guns are concerned, uh 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 shouldn't we have certain levels of, okay, you can have this, but if you're going to have this type of mass destruction weapon, then yes, you have to go through certain like criteria to qualify for that type of weapon. And uh, why is not the argument about the difference between the two? There's a rifle, boom, boom. There's a pistol, okay, or yeah, handgun. All right, so yeah, you can have a handgun that has multiple a clip to where you can shoot off multiple bullets which is different from a revolver. I mean, shouldn't we classify like the difference between these weapons? Because when you have stepped up to the point of having a cartridge that holds a certain amount of bullets, and then you able to put this weapon, or a person is able to buy a weapon that just turned 18. When hold up. We looking at court cases. We have seen court cases to where they're saying, okay, the human mind does not fully develop until it gets to X age. What we have determined is that that age is over 18 years old. So how the hell someone that just turned 18 is able to purchase a weapon? Because we'll go through some articles. We'll deal with some articles. Uh, but what's being said is that, okay, well, he didn't show any signs of violence. He didn't show any signs of being dangerous, right? But if this kid, which wasn't going to school, this is what the reports are saying, which is coming from the grandparent, the parent. He had dropped out of school. They never said whether or not he was working a job. They never said that. So let's deal with that. What we do know is that at the age of 18, I think whether he had an income is kind of relevant, but only relevant from this standpoint. This young man saved up funds. Clearly, he saved up money to buy said weapon slash weapons. And these were not just standard. They weren't standard weapons. These were deletion machines. So he bought the two guns within days of each other. But clearly, this young man had a plan. He had a plan because how else did he have the funds to go and buy, purchase? This young man planned this out. And so I've seen comments which are disturbing to me. The comments that say, I don't blame the weapons. Are you effing kidding me? You don't blame the weapons? So there's this argument of saying, okay, well, the weapon is just a weapon, but it has to be utilized by somebody in order for it to be a weapon of mass destruction. Is it just me? Is that not just really the stupidest shit you ever heard in your life? I don't even feel like I need to give you like examples of why there's stupidity in that. I don't need to give you like antidotes. I don't need to give you right. It's like, yo, that shit is just stupid. But first and foremost, who on this planet as a normal citizen individual in this world, unless my intent is to go to war, why would I ever need a AR-15? Not just one, but two of them, where it said that each one of the cartridges held 35 bullets. And if you trying to tell me that that shit should be allowed, GTOF. No, no. What is it? GTOH. Get the FOH. GTFOH. Get the fuck out of here. To say that we don't need to rethink this shit is just simply ridiculous. But let's pull back and let's really look at what it really is. The reason that the gun laws want to be kept the way that they are right now, nobody really wants to talk about this shit. And what's really real about it, hey, look, check and dig like this. Minorities, black people in particular, on a large scale, we don't get into guns like that. We talking about on an average, like not hood type shit, not illegal. Uh, 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 let's not deal with the legality of it, right? On a mass scale basis, we ain't really trying to get guns like that, and especially weapons of mass destruction. That's just not us. You dig? But what it is about these people that promote, like what this kid went into a black community and shot up things like it was a damn uh 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 what's the name of that game? Video game. You feel me? One of these war games. Because the platform that he put it on was mainly a streaming platform that's known for content creators that stream their video games. He went and shot up shit like it was a damn video game. And he had it on his weapons, his target. You know what upset me the most about that was the fact that he shot up shit and he pointed his gun at this white boy that was laying on the floor. And he didn't shoot him. And he had the audacity to say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Fucking kidding me. Hmm. So they imagine a race confrontation. You have to choose your word wisely on this platform. And so they want to be equipped way better than we even see ourselves wanting to be equipped. You know why? Because truth be told, if it was about hand to hand, it'd be a problem for them. So you best be equipped with the artillery that gives you the advantage. But see, we as a people, we've always been a peaceful people. Even though they try to constitute us as animals. For the most part, we are a peaceful people, a religious people, fearers of our creator. You dig? On the flip side, if you really delve into the history, what you will find for a fact, they not that peaceful. You feel me? I digress. Because in the big scheme of things, if we're talking about what, because I'm mixing one thing with the other, and perhaps I shouldn't make it racial when we're dealing with a young Hispanic young man. But at the end of the day, we still dealing with the fact that the people And the powers that be want to see the ability of getting these weapons for very selfish reasons. And this young man clearly waited until he got to his 18th birthday. And once he got to his 18th birthday, this young man had a plan. You did. He had a plan. And if we remove the politics out of it, this side against this side, whatever the case may be, it's just common damn sense that, hey, check and dig. Who needs a weapon that can produce the results of being at war? Should I be able to protect myself? Absolutely. But should I be able to go and produce mass destruction? Absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here. And only a devil feels otherwise. Or perhaps they anticipate war and not war out there somewhere, but war right here. And you know who they always been at war with? Check this out. This kid that went and gunned down people in a black community dealing with a replacement theory manifesto. When the hell we been replacing y'all ass? The fuck? When? On what planet? Your war ain't with us. What you doing? But you always gonna be at war with us. What percentage of this country, uh, what they say, 13, 14% of African Americans make up this country? We replacing you? Get your ass out of here, man. And you gonna come shoot us up? No, kid. I know one thing is not the same as the other. What the de facto is that get the guns out of these hateful ass people's hands, which now just so happen to be children. So at the very least, maybe if you bastards don't want to click, clearly you need to have a certain level of cognitive decision making in order to be able to buy a gun. If your brain hasn't fully developed, maybe we should reconsider this shit. But at some level, we got to rethink the whole dynamic. And you bastards ain't willing to do it. And we, as citizens, are not raising our voice to be able to make force, because the people can do it. Just like you saw these people on January 6th. They didn't force nothing, but they made a damn point. As much as we hate that, what they did, what it proved is that you can make your voice heard. I'll holler at y'all later.